Hey everyone, so we're recording. Decided to do a quick tech video on how to clean your fuel injectors. I've already done these three over here. And so this one I just brought in. So basically, this is sort of a DIY fuel injector cleaner that you guys can make for, a few bucks or whatever. So this right here is a heater hose for the throttle body on just 1G DSM, I guess. I had it on one of my spare ones, and it just so happened to be the right size to slip over fuel injector. So that's pretty much the first part that I went out and found in my parts stash. And so basically the next part I had to go and get was this little I don't know what they actually call it. It's like a little rubber plug that you can get at a hardware store. That's where I got it anyway. I drilled a small hole through it, and then I carefully pushed this chem tool, Berryman's chem tool, straw through it. You can use any type of like carb cleaner to clean your injectors, but I just made sure I could fit this through. And so the next step is to actually put it in the hose here and make sure that it's fully seated. You could do something like that, and then just push it in. That's kind of what I'm gonna do. So that's all the way in there. You then use these to grab the clamp. Make sure the clamp's around that nice and tight so it doesn't pop out on you. Make sure you have safety goggles just in case it does, which I do. If you have gloves, smart idea. Also, I just don't happen to have any at the moment. Harbor Freight's out. So this pigtail here is a 2G style pigtail. The 1G ones have a metal clip, and I found that these are a lot easier to source. You can get them off of Chrysler minivans from the 97 to 2000, Dodge Caravan, Plymouth Voyager, Chrysler Town and Country, that's what they called it. So they all use something similar to this. So did the 2G DSMs, and 7th generation Gallants also used these. You can get them off, pretty much any number of those cars at your parts yards. I highly recommend you upgrade to these because you can just put them on. They're locked. You got to squeeze both of these ends here to actually get them to let go, and it holds the injector and the connector together, so it's not going anywhere on hard launches and stuff, or when you're boosting, whatever. So highly recommend you guys install those. Put the clamp down on this, get our jar. I'm going to put the electrical connector. The thing is also, when you put the clamp on, I'm just going to mention this quick, you probably should put it on like this, or for the best results. Then that way you can put the electrical connector on up top, and then the clamp will kind of hold it on the rim of the jar here. So stick this in here. So these are low impedance injectors, or low Z injectors, so I can actually trigger them with a 1.5 volt battery. There are people that say it won't work, and to use a 12 volt. You shouldn't do that with low impedance injectors because higher current can potentially damage them. So just keep that in mind. You should probably not put any more than 3 volts. to these. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up. Let's see here. It would be a lot nicer if, you know, I had a real flow test and all that, but I have a friend that does, so, you know. Yeah, I could have him, you know, clean my injectors, but I just don't want to bother him right now. So, and this is for an emissions test, and these are just stock injectors. I'm just trying to make sure they work. It's pretty good. So, there'll be a little bit inside the injector after the fact. I'll put the O-ring on that in a minute, but let me see if I can get the camera over here, show you guys what was in there. You can kind of see there's a little bit of particles there in the bottom. This was a perfectly clean jar before, so all that crud came out of the injectors. I mean, they were in storage, but it's always a good idea. I mean, I wouldn't want any of those little pieces of dust, foreign media getting stuck in the nozzle or the end of these. So pretty decent job cleaning them. I do like to use this sort of grease. It's like caliper slider grease, but I don't use a lot of it. I use just a very small amount on the O-rings, so that when you stick them on, it's, you know, less likely that they're going to chafe on the fuel rail. So yeah, if you found the video helpful, consider subscribing. If you want to know anything else about this setup, I just use this one AA battery. That pigtail, I just, kind of winged it and held the battery like that on there. So there's better setups. In hindsight, I'd probably should get like a battery holder if I really want to make it nice, and then maybe add an intermittent switch that you can push to cycle them. But for the most part, this is a good, cheap, quick solution to clean your injectors if you want to do it on the cheap side. Berryman's is like what, $5, $6 at an auto parts store. You can get this pigtail from a friend, whatever. Find it on a junk car. I'm pretty sure they won't charge you too much for these. $5 if that. And then the battery, obviously you can go and get a battery anywhere. You can use a AAA as well, or no more than 3 volts on these injectors though. Pretty much all the Evo and 1G, 2G DSMs are all low Z or low impedance injectors. So they use basically the resistor pack. Any cars that use the injector resistor pack, you should be able to just trigger them with a 1.5 volt battery. Sometimes you will need a 3 volt with some, and if any of these don't work, there's another tip I'll add here. Get a brass brush and try to clean out the contacts before you consider them junk, because you never know. Sometimes corrosion can get in on these contacts and stuff, and the brush I'm using or would use would probably wouldn't even need to use this, but I mean, worst case scenario, you can use brass. Try to avoid using the steel ones. They're just a little too aggressive. But I mean, if that's all you have, be just really careful, because you just want to get it on the contacts or the pins. You don't want to get it in the actual. You don't want to scrub the housing too bad. Another option is you could probably just scrub them with a pick or something. But yeah, I mean, you could probably try also a less aggressive scrub brush too, because I mean they have this one's just nylon bristles or plastic bristle brush. So yeah, if you guys found it helpful, let me know in the comments below. If you guys have any other tips or anything for other people that want to clean their injectors, I mean, obviously don't do it. But if you have to, I mean, again, safety. But yeah, let me know if you guys want to see anything else in the future. This is just like a quick, I was trying to make it like a 10-minute video on, cleaning injectors. That's pretty much how you do it before an emissions test. Definitely help your chances of passing, and keep your car running nice. So see you guys in the next one.